Oh hey, wasn't it sensational this morning? Seeing both queens meet together for the second time ever. Can't wait for the festivities ahead. The voyage, so to speak. You know, this is my second time ever staying aboard the Queen Mary. First time was way back in 2005, right before my first cruise. Well, this time I was pretty smart about it, I'd like to say, because it's January, the slow season. I was able to get an interior cabin for $167 on Expedia.com. I chose Expedia because the rate was just a little better. I think it was $20 for taxes rather than $40 if I were to go to the Queen Mary Hotel directly. So that's at least $20 saved, an extra $30 saved for not having a porthole. I think that'll help costs when it comes to eating out because, well, I didn't exactly bring my own. And that's fine with me. I'm not exactly going to spend a whole lot of time in my stateroom. And the best part is, it's in the first class territory. Now, I guess that doesn't really mean a whole lot now. Especially considering I don't think I'm in an original first class stateroom either. I think this used to be a funnel hatch.
Sail with me to see the setting summer sun and stay with me to see it rise. In New York today, in Liverpool tomorrow, saying all of your goodbyes. And say to those who say to live this way is mad, that mad we'd rather be than wise. Live, just live for life.
Well, I must say, this cabin is about as big as my apartment. I should have brought my aerobics with me. I could have practiced in the morning. Ooh, that could have disturbed my downstairs neighbors though, huh? Maybe it's best that I didn't.
Come with me to where the laughter rings and drowns the pounding sounds of guns of war. Yesterday is a memory gone forevermore.
Ooh, it's been a long day of walking. I've gotten well over 10,000 steps today, you know. What's this? Embarkation notice information. Looks mighty important and mighty informative, but boy, this is an awful lot, isn't it? Don't we have the tendency to go right to the fun? This chair has certainly seen better days as well. That's how I describe this room, is adequate. It does the job, and it's going to do what it needs to do for me. Not to say that it doesn't have its charms or anything. It's kind of like a retro 1980s take on the 1930s Art Deco culture, huh? I gotta say though, between you and me, I do look forward to new management one day soon replacing this alabaster emulated wallpaper reminiscent of the 1930s bathrooms aboard their first class suites on the Queen Mary. I don't know. It just feels more 80s than 30s to me as well. I decided to do that walk with me Tim motif where he checks the skirting board edges, and yeah, they're pretty dusty right now right here. The ship has a long way to go before she goes back to her glory years again. And first class staterooms used to be the absolute limit, the absolute most. The June 1936 edition of Shipbuilder, featuring the Queen Mary, goes into detail about how ornate all the first class staterooms are. There are 56 suites that are still in service today, not quite what they used to be yet anyways, with all kinds of exotic woods. And if you're wondering looking at the deck plans why they all have that L-shaped pattern, it's actually no coincidence whatsoever. It states very specifically in here, most of the rooms are of a roughly L-shaped pattern, so that the great width of the ship is utilized to the best advantage. At the same time, this arrangement provides what is in effect a combined bedroom and sitting room, while the systematic arrangement of the bathroom so obtained greatly simplifies the piping arrangements. Towards the fore end, where the width of the ship is not so great, the rooms are rectangular in shape and of spacious proportions, a large number of them being arranged as single-berth rooms. Well, my stateroom for the night was made after the ship came to Long Beach even, so I don't think any of that relates to me. Except for the spacious proportions, there is that. Now, I'm pretty sure the wood in my rooms are either old recycled doors from, well, probably third class, which was gutted during the conversion, for better and for worse. But the dark brown wood moldings of my cabin are kind of giving that cozy cabin vibe of the 1980s that was so trending then. I don't even have one single mirror within the cabin itself so that I can check to make sure my hair's all right. And if there's anything more important to my appearance, it's my hair. Although sometimes I do wear contact lenses. The only mirror available is in the bathroom. Look at all the wall space. No, the original design of a lot of the first class cabins, and I mean you're paying for it so you better get good quality, right? Were a beautiful harmony of design. Everything was made to complement each other. There wasn't even any metal fittings in the first class staterooms, also that it could mold together and be a very cohesive product in the end. Now this stateroom is a far cry from any of that, but like I said, it does the job. Now before I try out the bed, let's go have some dinner because I've been walking a lot of steps today and I'm mighty hungry. The Promenade Cafe is the most affordable spot right now, and that's saying something. Now, I've been to the Queen Mary countless times throughout the years, and I've been to the Promenade Cafe a good handful of times throughout the years as well. It used to always smell like garlic butter to me. I don't know what changed. Maybe the change in decor, perhaps. But I gotta say, for the amount that I'm paying for these meals, they slap pretty hard. In the best way possible. You can't really go wrong with clam chowder in one way. But the clam chowder here, is it worth $14? I don't know. But it's quality. And you're also paying for the experience too, not to mention. The braised beef short ribs, well, I gotta say, makes me want to make them this good at home, I'll say that for sure. Really brings out the 12% Irish in me too. It wasn't until Alex the historian mentioned just how fresh everything is that comes here, especially the fish, that I grew an appreciation for the, albeit steep prices here. And maybe it could use a little more garlic, as far as my palate can tell. Maybe it's not quite as salty as it could be, although that could be my problem. But it is tender, the potatoes are delightful and creamy. They're not just mashed is what I'm saying. And the veggies are a perfect complement to everything else as well. More on the raw side, but buttered to perfection. Buttered and oiled, however exactly it works. For the experience that I'm splurging on for all this, I'd say it's worth it. Okay. So this is one of the most 80s bathrooms I've ever seen. One thing that troubles me about stateroom reviews in particular when it comes to the Queen Mary is people come in and they just naturally assume that it's all original, whether pre-war or post-war, but that this is how it was when the ship sailed. And you know, even in original staterooms, of which this one's 100% not even on the scale, you will have modifications post the ship coming to long behest. Although the tile is very tasteful, this type of tile is not original. It would be linoleum for sure. This wallpaper, although it emulates kind of certain aspects, is not. And the shower? Are you kidding me? Not even close. So I'm gonna take a shower and wash up and let you know how the water pressure is and all that. I'm liking the looks of the tub. It's looking clean. Oh, this here is my prized vintage circa 1958 suit. I thought it would be good to wear for the special occasions tomorrow. I'm going to meet and hear speak the designer of the Queen Mary II himself. I really do feel like I'm traveling aboard a queen. Okay. Sleep was good. Part of it was probably because I was so tired and kind of satisfied at the location despite being able to see where I was. There was a lot of rumbling going on. I don't know if that was the tide or not, but it really made me feel like I was out at sea, so that kind of helped as well. But the bed seems completely clean. The bed is definitely a spring bed and not a memory foam, or maybe it's a partial, but it brought back a lot of memories because I haven't slept on a spring bed in well over a decade. For one night it's okay. My back isn't exactly on cloud 9 or anything. You could hear it. It sounds like it's been a spring bed for a little while at least, but it did the job. And it did the job. You know, one thing that struck me last night that took a little longer than it really should have is the size of the room and the lack of anything in the room. So I have a little table that can act as a desk for sure, but I don't actually have a desk. I don't have a dresser at all. Just a little side table that I don't really feel comfortable putting anything in. You could use a few more little amenities, just a few, right? But overall, this is where I am. The athletically inclined will find that ample provision is made for exercise under the most congenial conditions. The excellently equipped cabin-class gymnasium, 36 feet by 20 feet by 11 feet, is situated at the port side of the sun deck. The decorative treatment is remarkable chiefly for the variety of woods represented. The shaded effect is secured by the use of 7 different timbers disposed in horizontal bands, and ranging from dark American walnut at the base through gradually lightening shades of Australian walnut, French walnut, teak, Australian oak, and British oak to light ash for the topmost course. The various bandings are separated by narrow sections of silver bronze metal, which give a pleasant emphasis to the horizontal treatment. The equipment of the gymnasium, supplied by Messrs. Spencer, Heath and George Limited of London, includes 2 horse riding machines, a camel riding machine, a double cycle machine, 2 hydraulic rowing machines, a nautical wheel, 2 vibrating chairs, 2 belt vibrators, 1 4-hammer percussion machine, 1 3-hammer percussion machine, 1 pulley weight machine, a punch bowl and drum, and all the other apparatus without which no gymnasium would be complete. The 15 electric motors associated with the equipment, and with that in the tourist class gymnasium, have been provided by the Metropolitan Vikers Electrical Company Limited. Adjacent to the gymnasium is the squash racket court, which is on the standard size. The Shipbuilder, June 1936.
So what I'm going to go do right now is just check in guests that have already prepaid. We're going to form another line right here for guests that need to pay. We're going to let everybody right on in.
You mean the government is actually paying people not to work?
Now, don't tell me. I know that Howard Hughes did it in 7 hours and 25 minutes. New York to Los Angeles.
Glenn Miller and his orchestra play the greatest music in the world. Why, Pamela and I have all of his phonograph
Well,
records.
since Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, the stock market's fallen apart.
Jitterbug and jive. I don't know what this younger generation is coming to. In my day, things were a lot different.
And you can't get silk stockings for love nor money.
Did you know Betty Grable's legs are insured for $1 million? President Truman ain't nobody's fool.
Skirts are going right down to the ankles again.
Once they push the North Korean troops back to the 38th parallel, the war will be over.
Oh, come on. There's no such thing as flying saucers.
Has it been 32 years? That's a long time.
Long Beach?